Hello, my treasures. It's time to drain our way to victory with Draenei Priest, a deck that recently got buffed up in the balancing patch yesterday. The buffs to this deck were Ace, Wayfinder, and Askara, down to 4 mana instead of 5 mana, which actually, weirdly enough, helps out the deck by quite a bit more than I originally expected. This deck makes for some fun little gimmicky interactions between Askara and a Velen, because if you can get enough of them in rotation, you could in theory just fill up your board with additional copies of whatever Draenei you slam down next after a Velen is destroyed. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, the first thing you're going to be looking out for is early game minions, such as Overzealous Healer. This is a great turn 1 play to have, and you can perfectly curve really easily by just keeping a lot of early game Draeneis. Then you're going to be looking for draw power cards, such as Creation Protocol, or cards that will act as a way to get access to removal tools, such as Astrobiologist, or even early game removal tools, such as Holy Nova within this list. It is also worth mentioning that Askara, in theory, is good to keep. However, I really like drawing her off of Creation Protocol, so a lot of the time I mulligan her away. Now, with all being said, let's look at some games. Shaman. Interesting. I don't know. Nostalgia Shaman is probably this deck's worst matchup. In theory. Theoretically, it's our worst matchup, right? Because they can devolve our stuff. If they hit Velen, we're kind of screwed. But if they don't hit Velen, we're fine. Because Velen only checks for the minions you've played, not if they've been destroyed. Okay, let's slam down Astrobiologist. Oh. And they're smart. Shame. Okay, light speed could work because it's another rush. And I realize how dumb I am for doing that. Sometimes we make poor decisions. Okay, there's Trusty Companion. Maybe we didn't make a poor decision. Maybe they're a dum-dum and they just trade. Oh, or I mean, go face. They are an aggro deck, so I guess it makes sense. Ace Wayfinder is probably the answer here. I know Askara is, in theory, not a bad option either, but like, Wayfinder just ends up being so good if you can slam it down on turn 4. Like, you wouldn't expect it to be as good as it is, but it actually, if you have good RNG, you know, right? Okay. Come on, good RNG. Oh, I'll take that in a heartbeat. Okay, there's the green whatever. Get rid of the minion, which kind of sucks, but whatever. There's Wayfinder number 3, which is really funny. This should have 4 keywords, right? I only see 3. Didn't Blizzard change it where if a card generates keywords, it always looks if it has the keywords? The more I play with the Draenei, the more... I don't think we've had a more bugged tribe ever released. I am so glad that that only does 4 damage. That probably is what's going to save us here. Okay, top deck of the century, Velen. Velen's very funny. Okay, Wayfinder. Again, only 3 keywords. Pretty sure that that's supposed to have 4, but whatever. What do I want to do here? We could use Lightspeed. It does give it Rush, but like that doesn't really necessarily do anything. Just pops the Divine Shield. We don't have an easy way. Well, we don't have any way to do. We can grab Healer. It's a bigger minion. Oh, okay. So the Divine Shield is what's stacked twice. Interesting. So maybe it's like if you generate Divine Shield and it's popped, then it doesn't count. I don't know. I don't know. There has to be something there. Okay, okay, okay. Make us draw a bunch of cards. Make us draw a bunch of cards. Come on, give us something cool. Trusty Companion actually is decent in our list. Okay, so we can Holy Nova. That gets rid of a good chunk of the minions. Also does silence our minion, so we don't have the Wind Fury anymore, which kind of sucks. We could draw another... Wayfinder, go, go, go! Ooh. Okay, we're going to keep the Wayfinder alive. Alright, there's Firefly. 6 damage to face kinda was annoying. But we do have Velen, which I guess doesn't really do much for us. Now that I'm thinking about oh, he does have lifesteal. He lost up to 22. So they probably have Scar left. And it's what, Scar and one more Lamplighter. So they probably won't have enough damage. Please tell me they don't have enough damage here. Our next Velen is going to have every keyword imaginable. Now, if we could only copy him in another way, right? Oh, you know what we could do? We could use Rest in Peace to grab Velen, like another copy of Velen. 18. Oh, repackaging. Yeah, we could repackage this board. That's not a bad play. Now, the question is... Well, I was... maybe Rest in Peace should have been what we did. I'm just used to elemental lists having so much damage that it isn't even funny. Come on. Sure. Alright. Bullet in round 3. Go! Again, not every keyword. Interesting. That's very interesting. I feel like that has to be a bug, right? Oh, that feels bad. How big can we make our minions? Am I right? Okay, so I think the play would be... The goofy play is Rest in Peace into Ceaseless Expanse into any of the 2-drop minions. It doesn't really matter which one. The good news is we don't have to worry about Wave of Nostalgia here at all. Though, being at this low HP, it was kind of... Oh. Maybe not anymore. Do we want to heal? Do we want to be safe? Wait, how much mana? This will still be safe, I think. Ceaseless Expanse, slam down a 15-15 because a free 15-15. Not broken at all. Heal a little bit more. Wayfinder. I guess we could... Yeah, we'll probably heal for another 6 and then slam down Astrobiologist, probably. And behold! Astrobiologist? Wait, why is it... Huh? Pretty sure that's not how that's supposed to work, but okay. Okay, so Hunter, what could they be playing? I guess Starship is probably the answer to our question here. You know, this opener doesn't actually look that bad. It could be a lot better. It could be a lot worse. Okay, so maybe it's just Token Hunter. Alright, let's slam down our 1-drop. Are they going to attack into this? That would be weird, but I guess they could do it. Slamming down a Scarab. And Scarab number 2. Okay. Okay, we're just going to slam down this other 1-drop and then get another copy of it just for tempo. Get rid of the 1-3, so we don't have to deal with that later. Keeping up the 1-1s. Sure, they can trade into the 3-2, but I don't know. Okay, so it is probably going to just be Token. That's kind of a shame. I kind of was hoping for something new, but I guess this works. When in doubt, try out the old goodies, right? Okay, let's slam down the 1-drop and then slam down the 2-drop. We'll be able to get rid of the Observer. But honestly speaking, like, I don't know. This set doesn't feel that bad right now. I think they did a pretty good job with the balance changes today. I do think it would have been a lot better if we, you know, buffed up maybe a little bit more. Or maybe nerf some of the older cards a little bit more than we already did. I think overall, for the health of the game, buffing up or nerfing older cards is the correct play, especially with them all rotating out soon. Then you don't have to worry about you increasing the overall power level of the newest set, because the newest set is at a lower power level. At least that's just my opinion. Let me know down below what y'all's opinion are on the balancing changes. Okay, there's Amulet of Wording. They are going to trade some stuff in. Okay, let's coin, put down our minion. That is actually a pretty good minion to give. At least Poisonous, because it does allow us to clear out the board pretty easily. At least we can hopefully clear out the board pretty easily here, if they establish any type of board. Okay, Barrel of Monkeys. Yeah, it's always cool running into a Hearthstone streamer when you're playing a game of Hearthstone. Even if you're like not a Hearthstone streamer yourself, it's really cool, especially if you can get a real fun like interaction between you and them. I've ran into a few Hearthstone streamers and a few Yu-Gi-Oh streamers, weirdly enough. Sometimes on stream, sometimes off. I think I ran into Jiminator when Avatar of Hearthstone first came out, and it almost made it into the video, but it just ended up not making it because I ended up getting some better games. Sometimes it works out like that, though, you know? Alright, let's send down Askara. I kind of just want to get rid of the Titan. Also, I need to be reminded to try to do something with that Titan before it rotates, because it's one of those cards that I always wanted to build a deck around. And then I never got to it, because I keep forgetting it exists. Maybe we could do some fun things with, like, Cube and that card. Like, you get the weapon, and then you try to buff up the weapon as much as possible. That could be fun. That could be a fun little interaction. Or you could use it in combination with Ignis, and then, like, buff up the Ignis weapon if you get one Fury on, like, a cheap weapon. I don't know. Food for thought. Food for thought. And I'm actually kind of curious what the mini set will have entail for us, because usually the last mini set of the year has some, like, old keywords come back before they rotate out. And I don't know if any of the old keywords from this past year would fit. I think we should have this game pretty much in the bag. Sure, we're healing them up to full with each Velen that is destroyed, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll be able to make a huge minion here. I kind of want to grab the Spellstone. I know we probably won't be using it this turn. Okay, there should be a pretty high chance of us getting lifesteal on this. Come on, something good. No rush? How did we manage? Okay. Also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm pretty sure Draenei are the most buggy tribe that we've ever seen in Hearthstone. Like, shouldn't these all have the same keywords? Because there's the copy of the same card. No life, I mean, like, no life steal on these and no Wind Fury on these. Excuse me, game. Alright, please don't find 10 damage. Okay. Well, I guess this is probably just GG. We can BM them a little bit by getting rid of all the minions first before we finish them off. Because why not? Okay, time for a game against Warlock. Let's see what they have in store for us. Honestly, maybe Starship Warlock is something worth, like, looking at. I know the buff to the Starship piece wasn't that, like, big, but it could be interesting. I figured you'd all enjoy me doing a video on Draenei Priest more than me doing Starship Rogue, since I think that is probably the top contender for decks that are completely busted after the balancing changes. But this did feel like a decent enough idea to try to make it work. Also, this hand is awful. This hand is so bad. Oh, and that's even worse. But also, fun little fact, look, if you look at the artwork on the Spaceman, like, the helmet is like the same style of helmet that I have, you know? I actually legitimately didn't plan that. This model was mostly done by the time that we got all the cards revealed for this set, but I delayed it by like a week just because I wanted to finish up on some other things that I may or may not transfer over to the YouTube channel too, instead of it just being a Twitch thing. We'll see how that plays out in the long run. I do kind of want to finish some stuff up first before I commit to the bit and see if I can. Well, it's not if I can, if I want to. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be Demon Warlock, which is interesting. I don't think Demon Warlock got any buffs today, but, you know, you do you. Also, another Warlock list that I really do want to try out. There's a lot of Warlock lists in this set that I just really want to try out. Wayfinder is just a... Don't mind if I do. Reborn on something like Velen would be really nice. We probably aren't going to get it. Shield is... It is possible to get it on the shield, which is nice. Okay, there's fracking. I guess that's going to be a little bit... never mind. I had a joke, but it doesn't work when it's played against you. It only works if it's you're playing it. So, whatever. Okay. We could slam down Spaceman just to get the tempo play. We are an aggro deck. I need to remember this is technically like an aggro deck. Like, when it comes to decks like this where they're tribal synergy, it's weird to me, actually. Have we ever had a tribal synergy deck that isn't just aggro? I guess Big Demons is, like, the exception to that rule, but, like, the more I think about it, like, Nagas are basically aggro. Elementals definitely are 90% of the time. Draenei's are. Quilborgs were. Very interesting, if you ask me. Very interesting. Oh, Askara is actually really, really nice to get 2 additional copies. Okay, let's go face and then trade once. Do I care about getting another Crimson Commander? I don't really. Okay. Still at a good HP pool. We can get another Askara. That animation is beautiful, by the way. Also, thinking about cutting out Thrive for Holy Nova. Maybe in some of the later games, or maybe if this goes last, you'll see a game like that, but you never know. It's just because there are a lot of like aggro-ish decks that have 2 or lower HP that could be good to use. Space actually seems to be the problem within this list to me a lot of the time. I also kind of wanted to maybe do like a meme list where we're trying to get as many Askaras as possible, and then using like Champions of Azeroth to get the original Velen, and then like OTKing by having a full board of original Velen for 5 mana. I'm trying to think mathematically how much you would have to, because, well, if you also use Grifta, then 6, 24. You technically only need 3. That could be a fun little idea for the future. Maybe we'll revisit. Oh man, I don't want to revisit a deck so similar to this so quickly, but I think at some point in the future there will be that as an option. Oh no. Well, the good news doesn't actually matter there. We can. How do we do this actually? Because that's not destroying the minions, so we can't get another Velen, I don't think. Oh, actually, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Why not, right? Kind of had to work around the board state. Turns out, it doesn't matter if they are destroyed or not, or sucked into the nether. Velen will never die. Curse campaign. But why? Okay, let's slam down Velen. Might as well get another copy of Velen, because sure. Use Biologist, because why not? And then pass it to them. The thing that I've noticed, this is very early on in testing, but the thing that I've noticed that this deck is really, really missing is we need a Draenei that reads something like deal 2 damage to like all other minions that aren't Draenei, or something like that. Something like the Elemental that does 2 damage to all non-friendly elementals. I think that would make this deck a lot better than it currently is, because I think you can snowball enough with Reno not being as popular anymore with this list, where Velen can just win you the game. You just need to find enough ways to keep copying him and keep establishing a board of him, because eventually you'll establish a big enough board with him, and what is your opponent going to do? They have to deal with a minion that has all the keywords that you can get, and then also worry about the next one. Also, I'm really, really curious if that actually works in like they're thinking it works. I'm 90% sure it doesn't, but I could be completely wrong about that, because I know Sargeras has some weird interactions with cards. We can grab Synchronize isn't bad, but Heal is just better in. Okay, Rest in Peace is funny, but Harmonic Pop is just better. Now we get an even wider board. It's nice that these feed into each other, really. Or maybe like a... Yeah. I think the main problem with the Draenei's is like every individual class that has access to the Draenei's have access to a different Draenei piece that would make them good together. And is very... I mean, I guess you could run the minion that gives you 3 temporary Draenei's ran up in your hand, but I don't think that would be that good. Behold, the prophets, Velen, leader of the exiled ones. They played a bunch of duplicates, so we know they're probably not Reno, I think. Wait, actually, have they played any duplicates? Maybe they... And we don't have another Velen in hand. This could be a backfire really quickly. Hopefully it won't, but it could. Symphony of Sins. Draw a minion. What minion are you drawing there, my friend? I don't think it's going to stop us today. Endgame. Oh, tragic. Oh, kill Jaden. Well, you know, it's been fun. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I played 20 games with the deck, ended up with a 50% win rate, which was much higher than I had originally expected. I did not expect the changes to Ace Wayfinder and Askara to actually matter, but it turns out Ace Wayfinder feels really strong in this deck now. This is a card that can easily just be slammed down on turn 4, and then you don't really have to think about what you want to do on the next turn, because any Draenei that you can slam down could have easily Rush and Poisonous to get rid of them, or some other combination of keywords that makes it really good to do. Overall, this deck does have a lot of potential, even though I really do expect it not to get any additional supports in the mini set, because we're having the StarCraft mini set instead of a normal WoW-based mini set. Making it where I expect this to be the best that this list will get, unless we see some additional buffs to some of the Draenei's. But it is worth mentioning, if you are a fan of the Draenei's, this is going to be one of the better Draenei lists that you can try out, especially with Velen as your main win condition. But like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.